I'm Neil Hudson. I'm the director of the Imagine project at London Institute for Contemporary Christianity. LICC were invited to work with the Methodists probably around 4 years ago now. And it was at a time when we developed approaches to in local churches and with leaders to think about how do you release people for the whole mission of God wherever they find themselves. And we found that when we were talking with The Connection, there was a real moment of resonance. It was a time when people in The Connection were going, I think this fits so well with our own heritage and our own DNA. And so we were invited to work with a series of churches in the Northwest over a pilot project for about 3 years to try and find out what the principles of change and process that would be helpful to Methodism as a whole. The most enjoyable thing is that, in a sense, even in the churches that were selected for us rather than self-selected, we found that we've been pushing against an open door here. We haven't had to work hard to sell the idea, because I think it's not only part of the DNA of Methodism, but I think also there's that sense that it makes sense of everybody's lives. It makes sense of those who are in ordained ministry. It makes sense of folks who are worshiping in churches together. And it makes sense for their wider life. So the experience has been really one of joy. Clearly, there are challenges along the way. There's a culture in some places that needs to be addressed. But because we've done that in ways that are tackled by small steps rather than big wholesale cultural change, then it's been a gentle development. And so, yeah, it's been joyful. It's been easy. It's been a real partnership. We've really learnt from one another, and I think it's been fruitful. What brings joy in all of this work is when ordinary people, so-called, in ordinary churches, so-called, have a renewed vision, not only of who they are, but of who God is and how God might use them. And we've seen that in all of these places that we've had the privilege to work with. It brings joy when people kind of go, I've always been thinking that sort of thing, but you've given me a way of articulating it. When people go, that makes sense, and it now makes sense of the whole rather than just a part. It brings joy when people recognize that no matter what stage of life they're at, that their lives matter more than they might have otherwise have thought. There's a lot of joy to be found here.